Good morning, herzlich willkommen. Another update of the markets. My name is Michael van der Poppen, also known as Crypto Michael. Before we continue, I would like to urge and ask you to subscribe to the channel. Also check out my Instagram page, which is in the links or in the description beneath this video and in the first reaction, as I'll be going to post content on that platform as well. Probably we're going to do some weekly live sessions or bi-weekly live sessions there where you can ask me anything, also privately related or just personally related, not with the charts, but just having a nice chat. What are the markets doing right now? Well, the markets are not doing too many special things apart from being a bouncing ball. So there's different options that you can do right now, and we're going to discuss that. Also, I was live yesterday at Cointelegraph. I've discussed the markets with Cantor and Clark and with Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets and the true expert on correlations in the market. So if you have any questions for correlations in the markets, I should be referring you to Wolf. Scott, I should say. The markets... as you know, I've been saying that a correction is very likely to occur, or the likelihood of this correction is increasing severely. I do expect a similar thing to happen still, and a slight correction to occur. However, I am watching the higher time frames, which means that on a 5-minute or 10-minute chart, this is not what I'm expecting, or it's not what you're going to see on the chart itself, but we're going to discuss those lower time frames a little bit too in this video. What is the best option you can do in the markets right now? One is zoom out and do not look at the lower time frames if you're not a trader. You can become crazy if you're doing that, as emotions go up and down, especially in the volatility of the past 24 hours. That's one option. The other option is scalp trading on the lower time frames. If you are a trader or if you want to gamble, I would not be going anything in between at this point. So either just look at the higher time frames or the very low time frames and nothing in between, as there's just a very tricky volatility at this point. Markets. Total market cap is looking at the 1618 Fibonacci level still. You can see that there is wicks above us, all depending on how the weekly is going to close at this point, but it's looking like there is some sellers pressure here in the markets, which is inducing a resistance area and some pressure from sellers to push the price down. I'm debating whether we are going to reverse here, but currently I think if this weekly is going to close like this and there's another inside candle, I think we are. But it's all depending on Bitcoin, obviously, as Bitcoin is the one driving the markets up and down. And that's also something you should be focused on, is when are altcoins going to move? When Bitcoin finishes its correction. If Bitcoin is going to be the one that's moving around, Bitcoin is the one moving around, pushing all the markets. So what should you do? Watch the BTC charts, ETH-BTC, Bitcoin dominance chart, and what Bitcoin in general is doing. And currently Bitcoin is still taking the spotlight. Also, if you watch the markets, and we are inside such a bull market, this RSI indicator is not a reliable indicator to watch. You should be watching on price action and lower time frame support resistances that flip constantly. If those flip, and we can go towards the 2017 cycle in this regard, you can see that within this run, every previous level flips for support. And as long as that happens, you're fine with holding that position. And you can see that the RSI indicator was actually showing a potential bearish divergence and oversold areas, which is not a reliable indicator if a market starts to go into bull territory. So bearish divergence like we see here, and we see one probably, is only going to be confirmed if a previous support level becomes resistance again. Alright, so why is the market going up? Well, this is because our dearest friend DXY is not showing any interest in going up, which is causing assets to run. I've been discussing DXY on the live stream. If 92 points flips for support again, this breaker beneath support is going to be a fake out on the downside, which most likely brings us back towards the highs around 94 points. So this is something to watch. As long as the DXY goes down, party time is still on. Gold is also showing a interest. We've marked this area. I've hit some buys on gold, all shared in the group actually. So if you have any interest in the group, check out the link in the description beneath. The gold is showing any interest here, which is great. Healthy correction on gold itself. If it drops below 1780, I'll be definitely buying spot in this range that I've marked here. But this is good. If we get towards Bitcoin, it's quite difficult to be making any analysis at this point, as the higher time frames are indicating that there is some overextension at this point. I've been discussing this. The area to watch on a weekly time frame is the 19k zone, right? If Bitcoin does not break or close above 19k, I think we're going to reverse. On a weekly time frame, the crucial area to hold is 18k, and on the daily time frame, we can see that there is a potential, and I say it again, potential bearish divergence. As we have one, we had one here too, and that one did not confirm, given that this previous resistance was still holding as support. This bearish divergence that you see here would only be confirmed if we lose the previous resistance for support, which means that once we bounce up, it's showing a short opportunity. It's the same with this one. If this previous resistance was lost, you would have seen a drop down, and that would be a confirmed bearish divergence. So in this case, we also see one, and there's only going to be confirmation if this high is going to reject and we start to fall down. So we get in the area of a potential topping construction. The 3 days looking like crazy moon, potential bearish div there as well. Overall, in this last run up, the volume is starting to decrease, which is not entirely a strong signal. 4 hour time frame, and there we can see that the level that I've just marked, which is this resistance zone, is actually going to be acting as resistance zone, and those wicks that you see here are completely outliers, right? So in general, we see that we crashed south, which means that there is some marking points that you want to be seeing, which is this area around 18.2, 18.3, which has to hold, which we did. And now we're getting into the range high resistance zone. So the marking points that I do have in further downwards and upwards momentum for Bitcoin are marked with the 18.2 zone and with the 18.5 zone. 18.4 to 18.5, 94 to 95. If we lose 18.2, I think we're going to take the liquidity beneath 16k and we are done with this upwards run. If we do break 94 to 95, I think we're going to make a new all-time high at this point. And if we chop around for a few days here, altcoins can have some relief, as that's the nature. Altcoins will relatively do well. If you hear any sound, that's the coffee machine turning off. 1 hour time frame, you can see that the buyers are stepping in at this level that we have marked here. Chopping range, not too much specialties. So in what I just said in the beginning of this video, if you want to be looking at those markets, check the higher time frames, in which you can see that there is some overextension at this point, which is causing me to scale out a little, despite everyone saying we go to 200k in the next year, which if that happens, I'd truly be happy. The other option that you can do is watch the lower time frames, in which you scalp trade within this range. Further, there's not much to do. We can discuss altcoins, but they are all correlated to the movements of Bitcoin. So I think this update is enough for today, and I'll be back tomorrow with a market update and a live stream. So subscribe to the channel, check out my Instagram, and I'll see you again tomorrow.